before we get over into the protest, I want to start with Tom Homan. I want to give y'all an update on the migrant crisis because I know a lot of y'all friends and family, some of your schoolmates have been arrested and sent back into their countries. So I want to give y'all an update on that. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's rock, y'all.
Meanwhile, President Trump says Venezuela has agreed to take back tens of thousands of Venezuelans who've committed crimes and are living in America illegally, including the dangerous gang Tren de Aragua.
Y'all want me to give Mika an inspection? Oh, man, y'all trying to get Tom Dog in trouble. Y'all trying to get Tom Dog in trouble. Tom Dog can't be giving Mika the inspections. Not Mika.
As Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem and ICE and border officials continue to arrest and deport dangerous illegal criminals, migrants from the country. Joining me now in the Sunday Morning Futures exclusive is the U.S. border czar, Tom Homan. Tom Homan is in an undisclosed location right now as he begins another operation. Thanks very much for being here, Tom. Can you assess your work so far?
Well, look, I looked at the numbers this morning, Maria. The crossings on the border are down 93%. 93%.
Wow.
That's a bigger decrease than under the first Trump administration. So, look, I said it. President Trump is a game changer. No one has had the success he's had on securing the border. He clearly understands we can't have strong national security if we don't have border security. We need to know who's coming in, what's coming in, where it's coming in, why it's coming in. And we have achieved a success on the border already. We got more work to do. And on top of that, as far as the deportation operation, we're just shy of, I think we got 5,000 already arrested the first week, and majority of them being criminals. The non-criminals, and the media's talking about, who are these non-criminals? The non-criminals are arrested in sanctuary cities because you force us into the community rather than arresting the bad guy in the jail. And when we find that criminal, he's most likely with others, and they're going to go too. So if you want to be a sanctuary city, you're going to get exactly what you don't want. More agents in the community and more non-criminals arrested.
Tom, I know that you met with Canadian officials on Friday as the tariffs were looming. The tariffs have, in fact, been announced and took effect yesterday. President Trump is expected to have a real effect on Tuesday of this upcoming week. Did you get a sense of what Canada is going to do to retaliate?
No, I didn't. I'm not going to get ahead of the president on that. I mean, I'll brief him on the meeting I had, but that's the president's decision. I don't want to get ahead of him on that, but I will brief him on what I heard, and so he knows what they have done, what they said they will do. But I'll leave that after a discussion with the president this week.
Our streets are safer. It's probably somebody, again, we talking about proactively removing criminal elements that obviously was going to translate into more criminal behavior on the streets. That is what this does. This isn't what people don't understand about this migrant crisis and what was happening. And we were screaming to the top of our lungs and at the rooftop when this was happening in 2000, because it was crazy. It was happening. There was nothing that we could do about it. 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, you had a record number of people that were coming over here and basically taking your taxpayer dollars and coming over with size 14 shoes, standing on your couch in your communities, driving cars, getting into accidents, running into school buses, and just and filling up your schools, and was sitting right next to your children and they couldn't even speak English. It was crazy. It was like having a squatter, except for you were still living in the same house. It was like having a squatter because you could not pay the mortgage. We still had to pay our taxes. You can't not pay the mortgage because the mortgage companies, they still want their money. Regardless of whether you pay your rent or not, they still want their money. And it was crazy because it was like, wait a minute. I can't believe, and the people over there in Chicago, I felt the worst for y'all in New York. Because Chicago ain't got as much money as New York, even though they're a major city, even though it's the biggest Midwest city. And the way that they was running that city, it was insane. They were buying houses. They were taking resources away from the residents. They was creating sanctuary cities. They were creating migrant shelters right in your own neighborhoods. They was taking your taxpayer dollars and giving it to them. They was doing anything they could. They was partnering with the archdiocese and the churches. The church leaders was standing behind Brandon Johnson and all of this nonsense. And nobody tripped. Nobody tripped. Yo, we are sitting here protesting vigorously and partnering with people that came over here illegally, But at the same time, y'all didn't even bat an eye when they was coming over here in droves by the millions. They were coming over here by the millions, and y'all wasn't tripping about it. No big deal. We need more pumpkin pickers. They wasn't picking pumpkins, big dog. What you think they was picking pumpkins? They was robbing people on scooters in New York. They were robbing. Gang members was taking over whole apartment complexes over in Denver and in Aurora. They had a 33% increase in illegal migrants in Springfield. And the only thing y'all can focus on is whether or not they was eating cats and stealing geese. Nobody protested. Nobody had a problem with it on the left. They was just like, yeah, reproductive rights. Until it's your kid that get hurt, or you can't walk down the street, or they turn into, they form different gangs and they form different sects. I just couldn't believe what was happening over the last 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. It was incredible. And think about this for a second. Let's put this in perspective, y'all. Tom Homan is the border czar. Tom Homan is the border czar. Kamala Harris was the border czar. Tom Homan was the border czar. Kamala Harris was a border czar. Tom Homan is the new border czar again. You got to remember that he served under 7 different administrations. 7 administrations. Kamala Harris did nothing. Tom Homan did more in 2 weeks than Kamala Harris did in their entire administration. That's really, like, it got to be eye-opening. It's got to be something there. We need to really take that into consideration, right?
Tom, you've also said that you're going to start moving migrants, illegals in this country, to Guantanamo Bay, hopefully within 30 days. What's the plan? Are they going to stay there until you can get them back to their home country?
Absolutely. Look, the worst of the worst need to go to Guantanamo Bay. And for those folks that don't know, we've had a migrant processing center there for decades. We don't use an awful lot. Usually it's the Coast Guard holding people from Haiti and Cuba that were, arrested, entered the country through the maritime. So we got a facility there. We're going to expand it a lot and hold the worst of the worst over there. I mean, it's the right thing to do. And the beds are much cheaper over there. So look, President Trump's about efficiency, about getting the bad guys out. This is one of many ideas we have, and we're going to put it in place.
Tom, you said that the crossings are down 93%. This is incredible. President Trump put these tariffs in place because of the flow of fentanyl. What can you tell us about that? Because the president has ordered 25% tariffs on Canadian and Mexican imports and 10% on goods from China because of their inability or unwillingness to stop the fentanyl from flowing into our country, killing 100,000 Americans every year.
Which is exactly why President Trump has designated the criminal cartels in Mexico as terrorist organizations. I've said from the RNC convention to the president, I said that the terrorists or these cartels have killed more Americans than every terrorist organization in the world combined. So President Trump took the right step. Look at these cartels. They've killed thousands of journalists, thousands of politicians, hundreds of judges, legislators. They're running the country of Mexico. So President Trump's making the right move by, number one, declaring a terrorist organization so the whole of government can attack them, not just in Mexico, but in 42 countries. The least cartels in 42 countries around the world now. They're in every major city of this country. They have set up shop. So President Trump's going to hold Mexico accountable. They haven't taken enough action against these cartels. They've been operating for decades in Mexico. They're operating freely. We know that. And look, I'm not going to say every official in Mexico is corrupt, but many are, and we simply know that. So he's going to hold Mexico accountable. They got to take action on these cartels and stem the flow of fentanyl. Not only that, the sex trafficking of women and children across our border. It is illegal in the country of Mexico to sex traffic women and children, but they're not stopping it. It's illegal for anybody from around the world to transit through Mexico without a transit visa, but they're allowing it. So President Trump's exactly right on doing this.
Have you been able to bust into human trafficking operations that are operating in America right now? Because I know that the drug lords got people across, but then they created all these new businesses, drug trafficking and human trafficking businesses, and they've got headquarters in America.
I gotta be careful. We're involved. Let me just leave it at that. A lot of this law enforcement sensitive, but we're aware of a lot of it. We're in the middle of some of it, and you're going to see some things happening in the near future on that.
Okay, and you are in an undisclosed location right now, beginning another operation. Tom, we're watching your work, and we appreciate your time. Thank you, sir.
Shout out to Tom Homan. We got to give him a round of applause. Incredible job. Incredible job, sir. You deserve the Nobel Peace Prize. You deserve an award, Tom. Absolutely one of the greatest American treasures. You are underappreciated. I need to put some labels on that to prevent that from even being shown. They got to send a bag. Absolutely a national treasure. America every single day becomes much safer because you are getting out of here people that break the law, that is not supposed to be here, and then feel a sense of entitlement of being here as a result of getting the support from raging liberals. You know what the worst part about this is? I can't remember one time during the last administration where Biden spoke on illegal migrants not supposed to be here. Can y'all think of one time where Biden spoke about illegal migrants not supposed to be not being here? In 4 years, I can't think of off the top of my head the Biden administration addressing the migration issue. I can't think about it. He does look like Hank from Breaking Bad. He acts like Hank from Breaking Bad.